Folks, Elon's finding all sorts of money. Tulsi Gabbard has been confirmed. And do I hear the number 100? Let's go. WorldNetDaily Live starts right now. Welcome, everybody. Matt Edwards here. WorldNetDaily Live is on the air. Josh Turnbow in the house.
What's up, everybody? Special day, Matt. Special day.
Is it a special? I didn't even realize. You just like shocked me with this. I'm quite amused by it.
Yeah, somehow, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is our 100th episode of the show. Oh, we're waiting on the sound cue, Matt.
I don't have it, but I have this.
100th episode, everybody. Amazing. Yes.
Yes, very good. We're very, very pleased. Yeah, 100 episodes. I can't believe that. When did we start this? Back in June of last year?
Yeah, in June.
Wow.
Yeah, for the busiest election cycle in history. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so, insane. Man, like, I think one of our first live shows was you texted me, Matt, and you said, Trump's just been shot in the face.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, yes. That was like one of our first live shows, I think.
That's right. I think we did that was July. I think we did we did the Biden and Trump debate too.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah. Oh, it was on a Saturday. Oh, look at this. Calcom saying good afternoon, man.
Yes.
Hello,
good afternoon.
Hello, Calcom.
Yes, good to see you.
Wonderful that you're here with us.
I never even thought we would get to the point where we knew who our viewers were.
Yeah.
I never thought that we'd actually still have a country at this point, let alone 100th episode.
I was getting ready for Civil War. I mean, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Tiny.
We are so blessed. Yes. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, we had, that's why we were selling like a survival pack, and
right.
And we had plans to move the live stream studio. You're in Coeur d'Alene, and I'm down in Boise area. That way that they can't knock us out at the same time. We were ready. We were ready for the end.
Yeah, the Starlinks were on order. All of that stuff.
Yeah, but
and now we're hawking coffee and wireless service and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I love it. Speaking of that, patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. You need to go sign up. Ditch the other folks, everybody. You don't need them anymore. You don't need them. You need to spend your money wisely. You need to spend it
patriotically.
Patriotically, yes. Exactly. So patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. That helps this program. When you go there, when you scan the QR code and you use the promo code WNDPatriot, that helps this program get to episode 200. And you need to do that right now because Patriot Mobile is the only Christian conservative wireless company out there. And it's so great to be able to spend your dollars and know that your money is going towards a good company with good people, and they donate a portion of their proceeds to causes that you and I care about. patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. All right,
Absolutely.
Josh, let's get to the big news of the day. And it's Tulsi Gabbard. Look at this. Confirmed. Tulsi Gabbard is the 8th director of national intelligence. How long has the director of national intelligence position been around? Since 9/11, I think.
Yeah, that's when they needed everybody to work together because they found out that like everybody was just siloed doing their own thing. We won't get into who did 9/11, Matt, just yet.
No, I saw Anna Paulina Luna. I heard that she's been tasked with having a congressional committee that will look into 9/11, JFK, all that stuff. But more on that another time. Who were the standouts with old Tulsi here? Because that's what's really what a shocker. Come on,
what a great picture. Yeah,
is he? And again, this is not a
turtle himself.
This is not a photograph. This is live video.
This is in the middle of him going,
this is not a photo. No, this is live video, Josh. He's frozen again.
It's live video. Good one, Matt.
This is McConnell right now. A no vote on Tulsi Gabbard. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Who else voted no?
Bernie Sanders, which is incredible, Matt.
Yeah.
Because she defended him, right?
Absolutely. Charlie Kirk says, what a fraud. And he absolutely is. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, was vice chair or some sort of higher up in the DNC. and she resigned once it was discovered that the DNC manipulated everything against Bernie Sanders.
Right.
And so
yeah.
she defended him, and here he is stabbing her in the back with a no vote. He's a total sellout.
Almost. But I mean, isn't that just how the Dems gonna do, Matt? They're gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Their favorite way to hit you is with the backstab. Every time. And then we have this clip that kind of explains why did they hate her so much. It's kind of confusing for most people. What did they have against her that was such a big deal? Even to the point.
Facts.
Yeah, here we go.
There are 25 to 30 U.S. funded biolabs in Ukraine. According to the U.S. government, these biolabs are conducting research on dangerous pathogens. Ukraine is in an active war zone with widespread bombing, artillery, and shelling, and these facilities, even in the best of circumstances, could easily be compromised and release these deadly pathogens. Now, like COVID, these pathogens know no borders. If they are inadvertently or purposely breached or compromised, they will quickly spread all throughout Europe, the United States, and the rest of the world, causing untold suffering and death. So in order to protect the American people, the people of Europe, the people around the world, these labs need to be shut down immediately, and the pathogens that they hold need to be destroyed. Instead of trying to cover this up, the Biden-Harris administration needs to work with Russia, Ukraine, NATO, the UN to immediately implement a ceasefire for all military action in the vicinity of these labs until they're secured and these pathogens are destroyed. Now, in addition to all this, the U.S. funds around 300 biolabs around the world who are engaging in dangerous research, including gain of function, similar to the lab in Wuhan, where COVID-19 may have originated from. Now, after realizing how dangerous and vulnerable these labs are, they should have all been shut down 2 years ago, but they haven't. Now, this is not a partisan political issue. The administration and Congress need to act now for the health and well-being of every American and every person on this planet.
This is so huge, Josh. This is so, I don't know if people grasp the moment of this. I mean, when I think back to the deep state actors that have been in charge of the DNI and all the main apparatus, I mean, to have someone like her be in this position with and who's been out and about with these kinds of information drops and analysis, it's incredible. She's a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve. She is she's been in public service since or she's been in that military for 20 years. And so she has a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, politically speaking as well. She was a Democrat. She left the party in 22, became an independent. Now she's formally a Republican as well. And she's 2 months shy of turning 44. I mean, you're not, I don't know where I was when I was 44, but I wasn't doing this.
And Matt, it just think about this is the kind of this amazing moment we're still living in. Remember how crazy it was just a few years ago. We have this image that she was showing that even when she was traveling, she was being surveilled.
Yes.
So this tweet from End Wokeness, she had the special indication on her that made her she got special attention from security. Then now she's head of this group.
Yes.
That would oversee all of this. So, I mean, that's what you need to do and people forget how crazy it got. They were surveilling. She was a Congress person, right?
Yeah.
That's just bonkers. And so today's news is just worth celebrations. Fantastic.
Yes, it's great news. And now, as we say, the clock is the Congress is now on the clock. Senate's now on the clock for RFK coming up, and then of course Kash Patel after RFK. And so all that's coming in here. Do we have some breaking details or some more analysis in here from one of our producers?
Yes. Alexis is going to jump on. You're just going to hear her voice, the disembodied voice of smart producer Alexis. Go ahead, Alexis.
I just wanted to share that The RFK clock started at 12:30 a.m. this morning, even though they voted on Tulsi at 11 a.m. this morning. So we will have a vote. We should have a vote by 6:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow on RFK. But like they did with Tulsi, they may postpone the actual vote until later in the morning so that everyone can be there because of the weather in DC.
Okay, so bring your mic up just a little bit more. So we get a final decision when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, now I can hear you better.
The vote will be tomorrow.
Okay, so I mean, we're starting to like check the boxes. Trump's actually gonna get his picks. It looks like right now.
But yeah, like so far, no one's been voted down. The only person that we've seen have a withdraw was Matt Gaetz very early on.
Yeah, that was weird.
And when I look back on that, I think like maybe that was to like again set that Overton window further down the line of like how outrageous it was,
right?
And just nominate Matt Gaetz and get everybody freaking out, and then kind of being like, okay, well, Pam Bondi's fine, RFK is okay, you know. But this is monumental, and this is, I won't say she's not really an outsider yet. Like RFK is an outsider.
Yeah,
he's an outsider. Yeah. He's a disruptor and an outsider. And if that goes through, it's going to be really, really, really big. I mean, I'm trying to think of the other ones. I guess Pete Hegseth is sort of an outsider when you think about, you know, the sort of the typical. He's not the typical nominee. Hegseth was.
Yeah. Oh, Alexis coming back in. Go ahead.
Yes.
I heard from my senator that Tulsi was going to be the hardest one to confirm. So since we got her through, I think we have a better chance at getting RFK.
Okay. Good.
I mean, I just can't even see now I've taken the opposite bait where I used to be a doomer. Now I'm just like a zoomer for Trump. And I'm like, okay, it's all going to work out.
It's all going to work out.
It's all going to work out now, I guess.
I don't know. I think our roles have reversed. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm like, what's
it is weird.
Happen?
Yeah. Our roles have, it's, you know.
Yeah. Well, but again, like you said, he's following through on his campaign promises and such.
Yep.
We have now this is a new Twitter handle. I'm not familiar with this. We've got a lot of stuff here. Rapid Response 47 posted. We got a lot of stuff from them on X. This is an official account from the White House, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Is it like their press account?
Basically.
Okay.
So, all right. Well,
like
here's Caroline Levitt with some comments.
This week, the president has continued to deliver on his promises to the American people. According to new polling that was released at the beginning of this week by CBS News, an overwhelming 70% of Americans said that President Trump is following through on what he pledged to do during his historic campaign. The poll also revealed that Americans see President Trump as a tough, energetic, focused, and effective leader fighting hard to improve their lives and our country.
I mean, boom. I mean, say what you want about polls and such, but I mean that you can't deny those sort of things when you're seeing the common sense, you know, the reactions of like, how much money are they uncovering being wasted? I mean, you talk to people, normal people on the street that may not follow politics, and if you were to lay out, you know, the top 10 most egregious line items, they'd be like,
"Oh yeah,
what are you talking about? I was just told I couldn't get my VA benefits." You know, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, the DOGE winning continues. That's kind of our theme for the show. Was Elon just keeps digging up more and more money that's been wasted. And over at WorldNetDaily, we have a great article on that, and we'll play some video out from that article too that came right out of the White House. And this is a funny, Matt, because like this scene that we're going to show you is kind of awesome. Like Trump just relaxed at the desk. You bring that image in again, Alexis, and then Elon's there with his kid.
Yes, the optics of this were it was so incredible.
It was so chill too, you know, like it wasn't, and like Elon and Trump's just like, go ahead, Elon, tell him, right? Yeah. Go ahead, tell him. And then he's sitting there just kind of going,
And it's like 40, and it's a good 40 minutes of Elon just standing there going through certain things. His kid is climbing on his head, is climbing at his feet, and he's sort of just walking through. He's got a couple of awkward jokes, you know. At one point he was challenged about
the condoms
thing. Yeah. He said, she goes, you said there were $50 million worth of condoms that went to Uganda.
Gaza.
Oh, they went to Gaza and they actually went to Uganda. And he goes, oh yeah, I guess I got it wrong. You know, I'm gonna get some things wrong, but that's still $50 million worth of condoms to Uganda.
He said that's still a lot of condoms. That's a lot of waste on condoms. That's too many condoms.
You've got the imitation down.
In the perfect Elon. Oh man, yeah. Sometimes we're going to make mistakes, but that's way too many condoms. It's pretty much what he said.
That's great. Folks, a star is born. Josh Turnbow.
The Elon's not hard to do, to be honest.
I've never attempted, and I'm not going to right now.
Yeah.
Let's hear this clip of Trump and Elon speaking about the fraud that they found.
And also, could you mention some of the things that your team has found? Some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about 30 million.
Right.
Yes.
Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened to USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But they seem to be mysteriously, they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense. That's the honest truth of it. So, we're looking at, we just.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, this kind of stuff goes on for a half hour, 40 minutes. It's absolutely. Right. I watched the whole thing. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't turn away.
So my contention, Matt, I think I've said this before, is that when they are hinting, Elon and President Trump are hinting at something they already know. They already know that there's probably ample evidence of fraud. They said kickbacks 3 times, right? Trump keeps mentioning kickbacks because those are illegal in when you do work for the government or even certain corporations. So they know something. And it's funny because Elon is just one of the smartest people in America. He is a good investor. And he's like, unless you're very good at investing, you could not have made multiple millions of dollars, right? Yeah, you can't do that. And
it's true.
I saw another list. We don't have it here today, but it was a list of people on an NGO. And there's so many of these NGOs. This is what USAID paid for, right? And these VPs of government relations, government finance on these these are nonprofit, technically by name only, companies. Each one of the 64 people on that list at least were making $300,000 a year. Okay, that's obscene. You need a really great title to make that in a corporation that's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And so an NGO is different too because they don't have stock per se. So they just gave it to you in salary.
Right.
But I mean, this is why
huge salaries.
Yeah, this is why everybody in government moves into these jobs. They leave government and they go get the job, with I knew of a woman that was previously the CEO of I think it's Feeding America, some giant nonprofit. She was making millions of dollars a year as the CEO of a nonprofit Feeding America organization. I mean, it's really insane.
Yeah.
And and corrupt.
Yeah. Well, most Americans are on board. We've got this post here that says that DOGE has a 60% approval rating according to recent polling. And so this means if you're on the wrong side of DOGE, you're on the wrong side of the American people. I mean, I don't understand how you can see this corruption being unveiled and be against this. It's just incredible.
Yeah, can you pop that tweet back up, Alexa? So this tweet, Insurrection Barbie, if you guys don't follow her on X, you should definitely go follow her. She is a fantastic X source. We get a lot of news from her, and we like featuring her tweets or her X posts on here because, I mean, Elon's been retweeting her like crazy because, you know, she's paying special attention to what he likes, but just shouting her out for the show here.
Yeah, really good, really good. But then on the flip side, I mean, I think the liberals, the lefties, I think they're handling this just fine. We've got some footage of them just totally handling it perfectly well.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on?
Matt, everybody on that stage works at REI. Every single one of them works at REI.
They were just hired because they got laid off working at
yeah, this is a group. Everybody's a parking lot full of Subarus.
Yep.
Not yours after that performance.
No.
Yeah, not yours.
You know, if you didn't have that sort of, you know, these old school hippies, right? I mean, that's just old school hippie stuff that is just so cringy.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Word of the day. This is what the kids call and what they mean when they say cringe.
Yeah,
that's it. This is the definition of cringe.
Yeah.
You know,
it right there. It's one hair above Scott's tots. If you're familiar with The Office, you know what I'm talking about out there. You know what I'm talking. Drop me a like if you know what I'm talking about on The Office. and then there was this. I don't know if she is a state representative, was she a congresswoman that she just felt the need to just like join in on hating on Trump, right?
Hey guys, when you see this say no to peer pressure, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to. I don't swear in public very well, but we have to Trump. Please don't tell my children that I just did that.
Oh, they're going to know. Hey guys, can we pray for the Democrats just right now? Just pray for them. What do they want to do to Trump exactly? How does this? I don't know if that messaging fully works, Matt. Does it?
It can't work right now. It can't. We are in a different world. Trump is in a different space. The whole country is tired of that nonsense. You are absolutely right. You know, on my earlier show today, I called for the same thing. We have to pray for the Democrats. They're lost.
At this
those
point,
that can be saved,
yeah.
We're going to try and save you guys. But other than that, you know, that poor woman. I mean, peer pressure. She's like, I have to say the F word.
I have to say this. She even had the sense not to do it, and she mentioned her kids.
Right.
Democrats are making fools of themselves. Yeah, that's true. Thank you for the comment.
Yeah,
they really are. They're good at that. But before, they kind of still had the media and stuff, but now they just like, they have no direction at all.
No, they don't. They don't. But luckily, folks, we do have direction. You guys are following us. You watch the show all the time. You're over at WND.com, and you trust us because we are here to tell you the truth. And that's why you need to support us at the WND News Center. There's the QR code, folks. If you don't want to sign up for wireless, or you're already with Patriot Mobile or whatever, but you still want to be able to help support WorldNetDaily, then you need to donate to the WND News Center. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you right to the page. You can make a monthly donation, a one-time donation. You can set up a weekly donation. You can do whatever you want. It goes straight to WorldNetDaily to help the operations here, keep this show on the air, keep Elizabeth's show on the air, keep Joe Kovacs and all the great news that's coming out at WorldNetDaily. This is how you support it. The The WorldNetDaily team has been functioning because of folks like you out there who have been supporters and just big champions for WorldNetDaily and for the truth for almost 30 years now. So continue to help support everything that's going on here by heading over to the WND News Center, by scanning that QR code, or if you're QR code aversion to QR codes, you can hit the link in the description. Yes, averse. QR code averse. I know somebody who is QR code averse. He's very anti QR code. And now he has one on his business card. So sorry, buddy. Okay. Well, let's talk about Russia, because Trump had we have this article up over at WND about them finally releasing Mark Fogel. What's the story? What's the background on this? I wouldn't necessarily call him a hostage, but he was in prison in Russia for a marijuana charge. Is that right, Josh?
Yeah. So this is a strange story. You know, I think this kind of got lost in the news, and I don't, you know how like it's weird, the left, they don't always like certain people that they're supposed to like hostages of other countries. But yeah, so Mark Fogel, he is a history teacher in Pennsylvania, and he took a trip to Russia in 2021 and was stopped in the airport. And he was caught with medical marijuana, prescribed apparently, for what that's worth to anyone. And they gave him a 14-year prison sentence, which is brutal. And so there had been tons of talk about bringing Mark Fogel back. But I think that, you know, we know well that the Biden administration just could give a care. And Trump is not that way. Trump is like, we want Mark Fogel back. And the reports are, we were trying to find some video or a photo of this, that Mark Fogel kissed the ground when he was back in America. And that's phenomenal. That is just, we say a lot of winning, Matt, but also there's this idea of like restoration of things, you know, things are being restored justly.
Well, Trump welcomed him. I mean, it wasn't just, you know, Trump was there to welcome him in the snow, I believe. Right. Do we have a clip here of any of this?
No, we'll see if we can get one. Yeah, we did. I think we
thought, we don't pull any more heartstrings, you know. I do have this question for you. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here you go.
There's some nice.
Oh yeah. Awesome. You can see in the right panel here. Oh yeah. We're going to jump in on that. Thank you, Alexis. There he is, shaking hands with Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, you know, you go into a country that has very strict drug laws.
Can you click to the other one so we could see there it is. Look at that.
Kissing the ground. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I got to say, Josh, I mean, just from a common sense standpoint, if you're traveling internationally and you have marijuana with you, whether it's, you know, prescribed or whatever you want to say, like you kind of have to you kind of got to know the lay of the land. I mean,
maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I'm a little, you know, so if you break the law in another country, I mean, 14 years does seem like a lot. He was in jail for 4. So maybe that was the point where Trump was like, okay, he served his time. Let's try and get him home. Maybe that was part of it.
The argument too, Matt, is it's highly politically motivated, because people don't always think about it this way. I'll explain it this way. If you know this, please forgive me. But in geopolitics, when you are creating pain against your enemy, so in this case, we were creating direct pain by financing and arming the Ukraine. Well, Russia only has certain levers it can turn towards us. One of them is if they have anyone arrested that's an American citizen, they keep them there. They do not release them unless they have to, because this is, although small, it is a point of leverage that they have over us. And this nations have always done this. So it's sad.
The American ethos is particularly adverse to having Americans in hostage situations.
Oh yeah. And the families are relentless to their congressmen and senators, and as
we should be. I mean,
they feel the pressure.
Yeah. And we don't negotiate We just demand it come home. To that point, Trump was talking about, that this Saturday, I know this isn't on one of our main stories, but he said those hostages in Gaza need to be released or all hell's going to break loose on Saturday. So this is really a big deal for Americans, and I'm glad to see him home, and that Mark Follow is no longer, a political prisoner at this point. So.
Yeah, Matt, I'm glad you brought that up. So we will cover that. Likely Monday. Well, we're hoping that in a press conference that Trump had, I think it was yesterday with the King of Jordan, he mentioned he was talking about the hostages in Israel, and he said they're in terrible shape. They say they're going to release them, and like sometimes they're already dead because they've been treating them so poorly. And Trump has essentially, has laid down a red line. So that red line is the deadline of Saturday. And after that, Trump in his classic way says, I won't say what's going to happen, but it won't be good.
Exactly.
And, everybody's thinking, yes.
We may own more than Gaza at the end of all this, right?
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. We'll cover that.
Yeah, folks, stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll have some more coverage on that on Monday, of course. But back to the Russia thing. Trump did put out on Truth Social that he had a lengthy conversation, highly productive phone conversation with President Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Or Putin. If you don't like Putin at all, you call him Putin. I've like Tucker will say
so
Putin, true. But Piers Morgan is like Putin.
Tucker says Putin. That's how Tucker says it.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin.
But Trump said that they discussed Ukraine, the Middle East, energy, AI, the power of the dollar, various other subjects. We reflected on the great history of their nations, how many people were lost during World War II, the tens of millions in Russia that were lost. Mm-hmm. But it really came down to wanting to find common ground and common sense to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. And this goes back to one of those earlier in the campaign when Trump said that he'd have this war wrapped up in 24 hours, And there's only so many hours in a day, and Trump's been doing a lot. So hopefully this is one of those things where now that this is out, now that he's posted this on Truth Social, I imagine by Monday we might have some news, especially with Tulsi now confirmed as well. All things are just, they're all clicking in, Josh. They're all clicking in.
I'm just waiting on my taxes to be in that list, Matt. And I think things will be good in the next. I think it's going to take a little while. Yeah. I saw this tweet. I'll send it to Alexis. I didn't put it up, but it was kind of funny. It was one of these agencies. I'll send it to Alexis real quick here. One of these agencies, Elon was saying they got to give the money back. They should give the money back to the American people because this agency had like $700 million of excess money just sitting in its account.
Who?
It was here. I'll just show you right here.
Like a government, a foreign government, or
no. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau had a remaining account balance of 700. Yeah, and the tweet's funny because this guy Derek Guy says, Beth, this hits so hard if you can't do division. So if you do the division on guys, this $700,000 sound like a lot, right? Sorry, 700 million. 700 million. You know what that breaks out to, Matt?
What?
That's $2 per person. That's $2 per citizen. And let's say that like that includes kids and stuff like that. So maybe we're talking, it could be $6 per person. So yeah. Now think that, but I like this tweet because it gives a great example of like how big the waste is, right? Any single American.
I think your math's off, Josh. I think your math is off. That's 711 billion. We don't have that many.
Oh, is it billion? No.
Is it billion?
No, it's million. It's million because there's two zeros,
not
apologize. 3 at the end.
I apologize. Your math isn't off. My eyesight is off.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. So, 300, let's say generically 350 million.
Yeah.
people in America. Everybody gets $2.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
So think about how much money that is, but it's nothing compared to that number is going to appear thousands of times on balance sheets, right? That's how much money we're talking about.
Yeah.
And how much waste.
Right.
So
right. Yeah,
good tweet.
Trump also spoke to Zelensky. He posted that on True Social, and this rapid response has it up there as well. I just spoke to Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine. The conversation went very well. He, like Putin, wants to make peace. We discussed a variety of topics to do with the war, but mostly the meeting is being set up on Friday in Munich, where J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio will lead the delegation. It's time to stop this ridiculous war, death, and destruction. Totally unnecessary. God bless the people of Russia and Ukraine. So there it is, folks. On Friday, you might have some movement here between the Secretary of State and the Vice President in Munich. So this is, fast and furious. Shock and awe. Winning. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. Tell us how you're feeling about all this winning.
Yeah, I think we know how this is going to go. Trump's going to say, or Vance is going to say, the money's cut off. Give up territory, do whatever you got to do to stop this war. And then what I'd like to see when this stops, I'd like to see some clear revelation on how many Bugattis Voldemort owns, Zelensky owns.
Yeah.
Like to know that. I'd like to know how many homes he bought.
Wasn't it Tucker saying that he went to the Swiss Alps and the Ukrainians are everywhere?
Oh, dude, the families of the elites that are fleecing the American money. And another revelation, we'll cover this when we know a little bit more next week, is that a giant portion of the weapon systems that we were delivering to Ukraine were being sold on the market, which is, I don't think people really know how horrifying that is, but it's a terrifying fact.
It is, yeah, especially when they probably should have tariffs on them. You think they added tariffs on them?
Yeah, coming soon for sure. No, yeah. So I think, the other thing I was going to say is, and this is really sad, but I think we're going to find out that probably close to 1 million people died in this conflict, and 500,000 of which are Ukrainians. That's
an entire generation.
It's an entire generation, and what's generally Ukraine's a big nation in Europe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that can be laid at the feet of these morons that were waving the Ukrainian flag in Congress. They just and I think I saw a good commentary recently, a podcast I was listening to, but they said America is coming to grips with this idea of empire building. Empire building caused a lot of death in the last 100 years, maybe 60 million people. And it's time for that to stop. MAGA and America First movement wants nothing to do with that stuff. And I'm along for that as well. We do want peace and maintained peace, and you do that through strength. But the legacy of this empire building through Victoria Nuland and her screwing around in Ukraine, maybe 1 million people dead on, collectively across both sides, Russia and Ukraine. Yeah. And that's called a war crime. And I'd like to see that pursued. And I think we will see that with Trump.
Yeah. It's been a long time since we've seen, people that have been even admired at some point, in high positions of power being taken away. It's still a shock to me that Saddam Hussein was taken out the way he was, or Gaddafi was taken out the way he was, or even leaders that woman down in, was it Myanmar or Malaysia?
She's still under house arrest. She's essentially in permanent house arrest.
Yeah. But to the extent in the West where you've got folks, whether it's in the UK, in the EU, Australia, and right here at home, seeing people that it would have the impact of the Rosenbergs back in the day, the spies, the big spies, being sent to jail. It was it would rock the nation to learn to learn all and we're learning it now. I mean, when you look at somebody had pointed out that Fauci got a pardon, but Francis Collins didn't. You know, if you were following the C word stuff, which I won't say, but even still, Josh, I think it's I think we just have to pray. We have to pray that this justice will be done, and that and that we if God's good to us, we get to see it, get to see it happen. But if it happens and I'm not here, that's okay too. But it'll happen.
I'm hopeful. I'm thinking it's going to happen. Yeah. I was thinking about the phone call with, do you remember the guy, what was his name, that was listening in on the phone call that Trump had initially with Zelensky? Yes. Those dummies, the twin brothers, right? But is it Vindman?
Vindman, yeah.
Alex
Vindman, yeah, he's got a twin.
Yeah, so they're
Ukrainian.
Super, yes,
they're Ukrainian by birth or nationality or whatever.
What's his name? Lieutenant Colonel Vindman or some garbage like that. So he's pretty worried right now. He does not have a pardon.
That's true.
So people are waiting to find out. And I don't think it's fair to go after your enemies, but if they've committed crimes under our system that is our normal system of justice, go after them.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly it. If you haven't committed a crime, then that's what we're paying attention to. Okay, well, we have this one last clip here. It's a little off topic from what we've been talking about, but it's but anytime we can show the press secretary, I think she's always Trump is so great at picking press secretaries that know how to just handle the press so well.
Yeah. I didn't even know about this woman, and she's maybe the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, she's really great.
She really is.
She was reacting here to this whole idea of tariffs and reciprocal tariffs. Let's watch it.
It will come before. I do believe it will come before the Prime Minister's visit tomorrow, and I will let the President discuss the details on the reciprocal tariff front. But this is something he believes strongly in, and it's very simple logic as to why the President wants to impose reciprocal tariffs. It's the golden rule, which we all learned when we were growing up in school. Treat others the way you want to be treated, and far too many nations around this world have been ripping off the United States of America for far too long, and that's why the President believes this will be a great policy that will benefit American workers and improve our national security.
Boom. It's so simple. Like, I'm a free market guy, right? But when you're not operating in a free market, then you can't just sit back and get ripped off. You have to use what you can. And the president has power of the tariffs. God bless it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Notice, by the way, that Democrat hysteria has not been accurate at all. Using the actual hammer of tariffs, Trump's been using them surgically like a scalpel to get selective results from world leaders, and they make a big loud announcement and yell, and then the next day or hours they're in line.
Yeah.
And I think too that they're we didn't talk about this, but JD Vance is over in Europe talking about AI and lifting restrictions on AI because there's a big promise from Trump that AI will be a massive generator of wealth for the United States and its allies. And so why fight that and instead, control it, be first in position with it to benefit firstly from it. And I follow this kind of stuff a lot, Matt. I think they're right. They getting a better handle on it instead of ignoring AI gives us the best option to, make sure we know when it fully turns into Skynet and they launch the missiles.
Yeah. Well, on that note, folks, we thank you for joining us for our 100th episode. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or such, make sure you have an account on X. Make sure you have an account over on Rumble. Right, Josh?
Yeah.
We want people to do that,
guys. Yeah. So Rumble is so great. We had a discussion with the guys over at Rumble today, and they want to make free speech content go. They want everyone to be able to see it, unlike YouTube and most of all the other social media accounts, X being more open as well. But Rumble is our primary site. We want you to follow us over there. And I see we did have a couple comments come in from Rumble, and we Calcom was watching on Rumble. We appreciate that. We'd love everybody to go over and watch the show on Rumble and hit the follow button. And if you watched the show, we always appreciate it. We appreciate you being with us, especially for the 100th time, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
I think my hair is going to grow back by the end of the next 100. I think it could happen. I'm hopeful.
It could happen. That's great. All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be back here for the Friday show. And to all you out there in WorldNetDaily land, God bless you all. We'll see you then.
Thanks, everybody. Pray for the Democrats.